Take it away, Daryl.
What's up, everybody? We live and coming at you. May 8th, happy Mother's Day to all those mothers out there that actually are mothers and not trying to do the welfare system with 90 kids and, drug addicts and all that. Just the real mothers. My mother, mothers in my family, your family, everybody family, those mothers. How you doing? This is the 3IT guys with the guru, the resident guru, Jeremy Like. Shout out to our third wheel, Mac Ritter, who's unable to be with us. We got a couple of things coming tonight. We're going to deal with home networks, pirated software, LXD, which is a container hypervisor. We're going to talk about cell phone security, seeming that everybody forsake that. And we're also going to talk about IT and IT, and we'll get to that later. And then we got a sound off topic because it's something just I've been running across for the last couple of months with the potatoes out there. And we know lots of potatoes, don't we, Jeremy? Yeah.
Oh, yes. Do we ever?
Okay, we're going to get right into this because later on, Jeremy has we're going to try to do a live demo with the LXD. So we're going to hit Jeremy first topic of home networks.
All right. So I've been thinking about this more lately, and there is a need to do planning before installation of a home network. And most people, especially when you get your internet provider to come out, they drill a hole in your wall, they throw some cable through the hole, and they get the basic stuff set up so that you can get online. And most people are happy with this because they don't know any better, and they just start connecting computers and go about updating their computer and, well, hopefully updating their computer and then diving right in to play games or stream YouTube or whatever the heck they're going to do. It's time to call out these internet providers on their BS, and it's time that they stop doing the minimum possible to get things up and running. We've come to a point in time where people are taking a little more pride in their homes, and just drilling a hole in the wall where it's convenient for the internet provider, that just doesn't cut it anymore. There's no reason that they can't put a flush mount connection on and connect their cable to the backside of it, and then instead of just running a long cable out of it, just have a jack that you can connect a cable to. And if you need a longer cable, then you go get a longer cable someplace, or if you're so inclined, you go to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, and you get the equipment and you build a custom length cable yourself.
That's
So, you guys comment, Daryl?
Oh, yeah, I just shout out to them unmentionable internet service providers that we all know and don't like.
Yeah. So anyways, my big point to drive home with this, before you have somebody come in and install cable, plan out where you want them to install it at. Don't let them just dictate to you. Yes, there might be some cases where, due to the construction of your building, they may not be able to put it exactly where you want it. But in most cases, you should be able to get relatively close. So the other part of this is that more complexity requires more planning. Just like Rome wasn't built in a day, a properly running home network or small business network is not going to be put together and just to be thrown together and have it work. I mean, there are things that you need to take into consideration. Are you just adding computers? Or are you going to have cell phones, tablets, guest devices, streaming devices, cameras, and security devices, or other things connected to this network? Something you need to plan for. All these devices, all these other devices can detract from your overall experience when using your network. There are things that you can put in place if you're going to let people that you know come into your house and use your network. Then you might want to have a guest Wi-Fi network and have that segregated, whether on a separate VLAN or an IP range separated from your the rest of your home network or small business network. If you're going to have voice over IP phones, then you want to consider having those on a VLAN and setting up some QoS, which is quality of service, so that you don't end up with jitter during your phone calls. Again, with cameras and security devices, same situation. If you're streaming video over the network, which your security cameras would be, then again, consider setting up a VLAN specifically for those and putting some quality of service provisions in place. Yeah, I mean, this basically applies to, home and small business networks alike. They both kind of get hit with this, and, they tend to try to get out of it as cheaply as possible. And so unless you have money that you don't know what to do with, or, a friend that works in IT, generally your home network is going to be a little bit of a disaster. So, there are things that you can do about this. There are many resources available on YouTube. You can contact a local IT professional to help you out. You can ask, your cousin's kid that's 15 to, help you do a few little things. But again, keep in consideration, if you have some 15-year-old kid do it, you're not going to get the same quality of installation as if you have a professional that has years of experience coming in to do it. You get what you pay for. So buyer beware on that one. But, it's time to start thinking about this, just adding repeaters and doing stuff that your local big box store nerd people would suggest. It may not be in your best interest. They may be trying to make a quick sale, and they might sell you a product that is due to be discontinued next month, and a fool's born every minute. So do your own research before you go buy something. And most IT professionals, if you can ask a question quickly and limit the length of the question and not expect an hour-long consultation, most IT professionals will answer simple questions for free. So, something to keep in mind. Daryl, you have anything to add to that?
Quick point of clarification. We gotta prod your big ball head for knowledge. Can you just briefly shine some light on the antenna array of routers, like I seen some with 2, the 4, and what that does in terms of a home network?
Generally speaking, more antennas will do a couple of things. Back in the day, you only had one antenna, so it could only transmit or receive, but not both at the same time. When you started adding a second antenna, you could transmit and receive at the same time. Now with these newer routers and access points that have multiple antennas. Things have gotten to the point where you have multiple frequencies that your Wi-Fi will operate on, your 2.4 gigahertz and your 5.5 gigahertz. So you can have transmit and receive for 2.4, transmit and receive for 5, and there are some other developing technologies like MIMO and a few other things that I'm not personally familiar with from firsthand use that allow you to get extra speed out of the adapters in your computer and out of the router by doing something called beamforming, which specifically targets the transmission to your device. So that's the basics off the top of my head.
Wow, and it's still ball. You ain't bleeding.
What, did you think I was gonna grow an afro from
There you go.
Explain to that.
Yeah. Good dude. That was some good stuff. I do know that most of my like relatives that I interact with, they have multiple devices, computers, desktop, tablets, laptop, and I do suggest that they go ahead and get a home network. But hopefully somebody can go from there and contact their local IT professional. Second topic, or actually my first topic, our second topic, is cell phone security. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. In general, that I know about, well, I know Mac gonna score me for this. There's 3 types of phones out there: Windows phones, iPhones, and Android-based phones. The Windows phone we can just put on the back burner. Mainly with the cell phone security is the end user, the person. I know for my little cheapo Android platform phone I have, to set up the GPS location in white in case I lose it or whatever, it made me do a pattern or a code on the initial screen.
Yep.
Or else it wouldn't activate. I wouldn't be able to sign up for the GPS in case I lost it. I think that was a nice move, because I remember one of the first ones I had, Samsung Admire, and you could find my Droid or something now, and it didn't have that. But that's nice. But I went on consumerreports.org. I went on PCMag.com and TechRadar.com, and they gave basic tips on what you need to do to have better cell phone security. And one of them is password enabling, wipe and lock in your settings, GPS location. And a lot of people, I don't know how people lose cell phones, because every time I see somebody in the car or walking or something, it's like glued in their hand. Mine actually be in my pocket, and I gotta take it out and open it up and stuff. But a lot of people is ready to roll. They don't have it in no case or nothing. It's just in their hand all the time, and they might slide it in the pocket, but their hand be in their pocket too. The one article from Tech Radar, 10 tips to make your phones more secure. Update your software. I found out, I asked about 9 relatives, did they update the software on their phone? None of them did. None. Seriously. And they like, right. So, update your software. That's one. Whether you're running iOS, Android, or Windows phone, try to grab the latest version of the OS available, so that your phone will be functional and all the settings will be up to date, and that'll be secure. Number 2, use a secure lock screen. whether you're entering a PIN digit, a password, or they have the ones, let's see, my sister had a facial recognition lock. So if it wasn't her face, guess what? It wasn't getting unlocked. So you got different types. You choose which one would be more advantageous for you. The third one, install antivirus software. A lot of people think because they're on a cellular device versus the coaxial or Ethernet or Wi-Fi that they don't need antivirus on their phones, and that's not true. 2020 did two programs, and one dealt with cell phone where people were doing online banking or buying stuff from like Amazon from their cell phone, and that's what the hackers targeted. So soon as they went online, they was able to go ahead and capture that, packet sniff it, and get their information. And you know, a month later, they wondering why they got $3,000 worth of charges on their bill. Talking about they ain't been on no computer. Your cell phone is a computer. Just saying. 4, disable apps from untrusted sources and don't root or jailbreak. Rooting and jailbreaking. Wow, do you know? I know a lot of people call themselves rooting their phones. That's crazy. Number 5, use lock code apps in vaults. If you're not for sure what a lock code app is or a vault, you might want to Google it. It also deals with you storing files with a dedicated area of your device or on an SD card. It is smartphones out there that do not have SD cards, all in one units. Then some phones like the iOS and the Galaxy S5 and those higher range phones, they have fingerprint scanners and certain stuff like that. Then on to number 6, use kid and guest modes. It says in the article, kid modes and to the lesser extent guest modes are also vitally important. The last thing you want for your child or your friend to be messing around on your phone and to stumble across private data, or to later find that they have inadvertently called your boss while you're sat down discussing a job interview. These are now prevalent on most Android and Windows devices, as well as being downloadable via the App Store on iOS. But make sure you know how to get out of them when your child has finished. So many people have spent minutes locked in the crocodile game because they forgot the PIN code. The 7th one, keep location settings enabled. This is something that is less about protecting your device from being stolen or having your data stolen, and it's more about getting your handset back should you lose it. On an iOS, there's a Find My iPhone app, which is exceptionally easy to install and use, and similar techniques available on Android. Number 8, use wearable tech. Wearable tech, it says that the Galaxy Gear 2 and Smartwatch 2 has the ability to know when you left your phone behind, and the Bluetooth connection is broken when out of range. The watch buzzes to let you know. So my earpiece, when I'm out of range of my phone, it tells me, you know, out of range, trying to connect. And whether I'm at a friend's house, at a store, or got out the car or something, that's letting me know my phone is not with me and I need to go back and find it, or get within range and find it. Number 9 is set up a SIM lock, a SIM lock. SIM lock, also called a SIM pin or SIM security, is especially important if you're tied into an uncapped contract, less so you're paid, pay as you go. This is because it requires you input a pin before you make a call or send a message. Vital if you want to ensure that thieves can't run up massive bills. It's not the most efficient way to use your phone, but if you're in a place that worries you, head into your security settings and enable it. Keep sensitive files off your phone. People have different definitions of what's sensitive. Nowadays, you got people catching cases because, that one female then sent some sexually explicit stuff to them. because she had his number, and in her head she was doing something, you know, flirtatious or whatever. And in his head, he looking at my phone like, why is this 17-year-old flashing me? That shouldn't be on your phone. Sensitive data, in terms of IT, is banking on your phone, your account numbers, routing numbers to your bank accounts, credit card information, credit card numbers, and the CVS codes on the credit cards, your social security number. I see people fill out applications a lot of time on their phone for a job, and usually, you know, on the application they ask for your social. That's something you shouldn't do. If you can't do it on a secure computer terminal, don't do it on your phone. But other than that, those are 10 fabulous tips between a couple of articles that I did read, and that was on techradar.com. And as I said earlier, I also did the PCMag.com and consumerreports.org. Jeremy, we're back to you.
All right. The one thing I would like to point out, your article from TechNibble is a couple years old. That's from 2014. Now, I've done a little research. I've been using Android for, let's see, this is my third Android phone, so about 5 years. I've never run antivirus software on my Android. And really, if you're installing software straight out of the App Store from Android Play, most people that have an idea of what they're doing don't necessarily need it. But again, you know, this kind of thing, it's like an insurance policy. You hope you're never going to need it, and you know, you have to decide. You have to decide on your own whether it's worth $5 to pay for an app, and you know, go from there with it. But
Android Play, that's different from Google Play, right?
Well, Google Play is what it is. The Android App Store, same difference.
Google owns Android? No, I'm joking.
So yeah, I've seen several articles in the last 6 months, you know, from people that are heavily into Android stuff, and unless you're rooting your phone or side-loading apps from a source other than Google Play, then the need for antivirus on Android is not the same as, for instance, the need for antivirus on Windows.
Right. We ain't speak on Windows.
So, you know,
have you ever seen a Windows phone, Jeremy?
No, I was talking about Windows, not Windows Phone.
Oh wow. Wow. Regular.
I don't deal with Windows Phone. If people have made the mistake of buying Windows Phone, don't call me because I'm not going to touch it.
Me either.
So you know, if you're okay with an also ran and you know, want to figure stuff out on your own, fine, go for it. Be my guest. And for you Windows users out there, notice that this is the same exact thing that you've been telling Linux and Mac people for years. So how does it feel?
Wow. Oh my.
Yep, I'm just in that kind of mood tonight. How does it feel, Windows users? Or specifically Windows Phone users, all 4 of you.
Woo! All 4 of you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, you know.
We're going to stop at Android and iOS. The Windows Phone is an afterthought. I quit my research when it came to that. I see no reason. If you got a Windows Phone, upgrade.
Yes, get rid of it as quickly as possible.
Wow. Okay. Pirated software. How to combat the problem. Before you jump off into that, man, people, please, they sent some college kids to prison for pirating movies. Y'all, that's breaking the law. Quit it. Stop it. Big torrent, and go ahead.
All right.
It ain't
All
hurting
right.
nobody.
So, as a computer technician and somebody that's been in the industry for a number of years, you will, and I have come across people that have run janky copies of some piece of software, whether that's Microsoft Office or SQL Server or what have you. They're running some piece of software that they didn't actually legitimately pay for, and yeah, so the rules of thumb that I've always been given from my past professors and through my own reading is that if you encounter something, don't immediately, start accusing people. Don't immediately start, getting all defensive and making them defensive to the point where you might lose whatever job that you're working on or contract or what have you. It's one of those places where it's the job of the IT professional to help educate these people. Typically, it's going to be home users and small business users. I have seen this. For a while there, you were seeing especially small business people that bought refurbished computers and they didn't get a legitimate copy of Windows on it. So you get this little nag bubble that would pop up in the bottom right corner and say, this version of Windows is not genuine. So yeah, you can, as a small business owner and or a home user, you can get fined for doing stuff like this. So, if as a technician you encounter it, if you are in a position and you're working for a company that has software that is not legitimate, well, I normally handle it by trying to educate people. Explain to the business owner that they can face steep fines. And depending on the size of the business, it could put them out of business. These fines are so steep if they are using pirated software. And the other part of this is you can suggest the use of free and open source software as an alternative, with the optimal word here being free. So, for example, LibreOffice is an alternative to Microsoft Office. There are other Office products out there that are either open source or free, but LibreOffice is probably the most high profile of them all. As an alternative to Microsoft SQL Server, you've got MySQL, you've got MariaDB, you've got PostgreSQL, you've got Firebird database, and there are others on the market as well. If you just need a video player type thing, there's VLC Player. The nice thing about this compared to, say, Windows Media Player is that you can basically throw any file at this thing and it's going to play it. I've even seen it play files that were incomplete or somehow corrupted, and other players wouldn't open them, and VLC Player would. For accounting, there's a product called GNU Cache. and that's your standard accounting ledger type software. And so, there are many other examples, but I just kind of wanted to throw this out there, keep this kind of short. But there's a website. Let's see. I can bring this up real quick. Alternative2.net. So if you were to go to this site and type in, say you want to replace Microsoft Office and click the Find Apps button, it'll come back with a list. And you can sort this by platform, whether you're running Windows, Linux, Mac, Chrome OS, a mobile platform. You can also sort it by license. So you can support it by commercial, only open source, or free or open source. So yeah, there's many items that will come up in this list. The site is pretty handy for finding alternatives to software. I've used this several times because I happen to be an IT instructor, and the powers that be don't want to spend any money on buying software. So I try my darndest to find free alternatives that do the same basic function as stuff that would cost them money. So far, I've been fairly successful in this, but it's something that's out there. It's a great resource website, worth checking out. So
check it out.
I guess that's my my little spiel on that.
That one, a spiel, that right there, that was my next topic. IT in IT. And not the letters NI. It's IT in IT. IT, as we know it, is information technology. That's the second IT. The first IT is intelligent thinker. And the reason we say that is because over the last couple of months, myself, the amateur Mac Ritter, and the resident guru, Jeremy, we have ran across individuals supposedly in our profession that don't think intelligently. Information technology is vast. Me and Jeremy was talking earlier this week about doctors. And when you say doctor, are you talking about a doctor of science, a medical doctor, a doctor of philanthropy? Just being a doctor, is vast. IT is vast, just like that. Jeremy himself, he's IT, and I would say his specialty deals with security, because that's what he got his credentials in. But him being the guru in security, he's well-rounded in knowledge. Me, myself, I'm going more towards software programming in IT and networking. I know Mac deals a lot with virtualization and cloud stuff, and he's doing Linux. He's a little bit better at Linux than I am. Jeremy better than both of us. We don't like you no more, Jeremy. But in IT, it's a general base. The general base is what everyone must have, because if you just start off in a special field, and we've seen people that may be programmers, and that's all they do, program in a code, and they don't know how to work Gmail accounts or work simple web things. And it's a lot of drop and drag web design sites that end user friendly forever.
Right.
So for a person to be in IT for 20 years programming, you can't do a drop and drag GoDaddy site, shame on you. And also, our favorite word, relevant. Stay relevant. If you're in IT, you do go off into a specialty. That don't mean you drop everything else and lose it. You got to stay relevant on your general knowledge. I ran across a guy. He thought that 801. He didn't even know what 801, the 801 wireless was, but he thought G was the latest one.
You mean 802.11?
See, I was testing you, passed.
not 801. You're thinking of A plus.
No, I tested you and you passed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, he stays relevant. Now
it's called having a BS filter.
Anyway, the wireless standard. Oh my Lanta. Why the latest wireless standard is AC. I seen it at one of Jeremy's favorite big box stores with the what you call those? The nerd people.
Right. Because I don't want to single out any one big box store. So we'll just call them the nerd people.
So they got this. They have the AC. They have a router with the latest AC standard up, right? Why was the sales guy trying to sell me N series?
Because he's a moron.
Right. I was like, wow. I said,
or they've got a lot of product that they're trying to move before it's discontinued.
So yeah, staying relevant. That's my whole point on that. So you got the base general IT stuff, and from the course I took, I think I got a decent level of information that is on me now that I'm done with the course to expand on and to pick Jeremy brains and stuff. So you got that general base, but then after that, you can go into networking. And when people say network, Jeremy covered it in his first topic, home networks. That's on a small scale, but you got to think people do enormous size networking in buildings and everything, and not just we gonna configure some stuff. It goes down to the wiring, punch blocks, and all types of stuff. So you have networking. I started in web design. You have programming, which is the path I'm headed on now, which after listening to Jeremy, I don't think I want to do programming because I don't want to be sitting in a cubicle all day typing. Then you got hardware and software. And with the hardware, it could be hardware dealing with desktops and something Mac loves, tearing up laptops and little intricate parts and maybe soldering or changing out stuff. Then you got cloud services. That's a whole different field. It's people that just do the cloud stuff. Then you got IoT, the Internet of Things. Those are the people that's trying to be innovative about how to utilize the internet and the Wi-Fi access and this everyday internet we got into products, except I still don't agree with the internet toaster. I don't see no reason for it. Somebody made an internet toaster, y'all. Look it up. Don't buy it though. Look it up. It's about as useful as a Windows phone.
Right.
So yeah, the IT being an intelligent thinker about where you want to go in IT, what you want to pursue. I seen something that catches a lot of young people mind, which is hacking, so-called hacking. But they don't know the flip side of that, which is the security specialist like Jeremy, that knows about penetration testing, knows about how to secure systems from people like them. That's the whole reason the security environment exists. A lot of people put a lot of faith in software security, which is the malware, the anti-spyware, and stuff like that. But that's only a software program. You need an IT professional in security. So if you got a system, you need to be locked down, monitored, updated or implemented with the best software. That's where you need to start, with the actual person with the knowledge. So be intelligent on your decisions. If you don't know about it, try to research it or go get an informed opinion by somebody in that field. And then you can better, have an understanding about what you want to do in the IT world. With that, we moving on. Unless Jeremy got something to add.
Nope, I think that's good.
Cool.
All right, so I'm not sure how this is going to go, but we're going to give it a shot. So my next topic is LXD, which is a next generation container hypervisor. It's built on top of LXC, which people that are familiar with Linux have probably seen these letters before. It stands for Linux containers. So what LXD does is it provides an easier way to build LXC containers due to its REST, which stands for Representational State Transfer API. This LXD is eventually going to work with Docker to bring additional security. It provides rapid provisioning, and it's just a pretty cool little technology to play with. And I've only just begun to get into it, but it's definitely worth a look. So I am going to see about doing a live demo on this. Again, I'm not sure how well this is going to go, but we'll give it a shot.
Get her done.
And let's see. If I can find my tools for screen sharing, then we can get this show on the road. So that's not there. Cameraman. Let's see. Toolbox. All right, so cameraman. Share your screen. So we'll go to screen 2 and share.
All right, looks good so far.
Okay, present to everyone. All right, so let me minimize that. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to connect to a remote machine that I've got here on my network. All right. And I've already, let's see, I need to actually, so we need to install this. So sudo apt install LXD client, add my password. All right, so easy enough. Now, keep in mind that this particular machine that I'm remoted into, it was upgraded from Ubuntu 14.04 LTS to 16.04 LTS. If you did a clean install of 16.04, then you would have LXD installed by default. So, launching a new Ubuntu container in LXD, we can say actually LXC launch Ubuntu : and then if you give it the version number, 16.04. Can't type tonight. This will take a little while. And I get an error message. Well, that's not something I was anticipating. So let me come back to my reference information.
Unix socket.
Yeah, so inevitably when you do a live demo, it never goes quite the way you expect it to. All right. Well, we might have to revisit this next week and try and find my command that I'm looking for. Let's see. LXC config show. Oh, that didn't go so well. Yeah. Well, what do we have? So this is the man file, which is the built-in documentation. And didn't really. Try this again. Okay.
Run LXD in it.
So
Okay, and it's thinking.
apparently.
Hey.
Would you like to set up a bridge for LSD containers? Sure. Default. Random subnet. That's fine. I'm just accepting defaults here. Unless you're using your router. Okay, yes. No on IPv6. Okay, now that that's going, let's try this again. LXC launch Ubuntu 16.04. Oops.
Heliotropic. What the heck? Helicopters.
So that was probably my biggest issue right there. I didn't do sudo in front of it. So now it's actually pulling down an image of Ubuntu. This is, from my understanding, up to this point. It's different than an ISO image, but it's an image that's specific to LXD. And so this will download the image, and then it will launch an instance of Ubuntu using that image. This is going to be the Ubuntu server version. So once we get this up and going, we'll go through a couple more things, and we'll probably revisit this in coming weeks as I learn more about this. This is something new that I've started playing with recently, but I thought it was worth trying to add a demonstration component to this Hangout and see how this all went. Okay, so it retrieved the image and it started the instance. So if we do LXC image list with sudo in front of it, it will show that we're running a version of Ubuntu 16.04 LTS on AMD 64, so it's a 64-bit version. It gives you the architecture, gives you the size, and the upload date, May 9th. So only today's the 8th. Must be we grabbed this from another time zone and it's inheriting the date stamp from that. So there are other things you could do with this. If you notice that in the alias column, there is nothing listed there. You can assign an alias to these instances. You know, there's different things you can do. You can do snapshotting just like you would a virtual machine, and all kinds of neat things that this will allow you to do. Very useful technology for if you're doing any sort of development work, so that you can run whatever you're testing in a clean environment. And this basically ensures that it's a clean environment because you download it as an image. You can do updates just like you would in a standard Ubuntu install, and then you know, customize it to your needs and just go from there. But that's a brief intro to LXD. And again, we'll I'm sure be coming back to this topic over the coming weeks. But I'll do one more command. Let's see.
He remembered. Oh my.
Yeah. So LXC. Let's see. Delete. -F, and this is going to be and then if we do it'll come back with nothing. So it's that easy to get rid of your instance, and it, you know, keeps your host system clean, so you can pretty rapidly spin something up, do some testing, and then dump the whole thing if it's not something that you're gonna keep running in the long term. So that kind of was what I had planned for the demo tonight. As I learn more about the technology, we will absolutely be coming back to this. So let me turn off the screen sharing. All right, there I am again. So,
wow.
anyways, that at least gives people a little bit of exposure to LXD by way of some LXC commands, and you know, it's a worthy topic to take a look at. There is, I can put my finger on it, and I can add these to the show notes or the information that'll end up on YouTube anyways. There is a site. There is a site that will let you try this technology out, and it kind of guides you through. That is linuxcontainers.org/LXD/try-IT. And it'll walk you through the whole process. I think it starts with the LXD installed by default, and then just walks you through the different pieces from there. I did go through that earlier today, but I was trying not to use somebody else's stuff to do the demo, because you know, people are kind of sue happy, and I don't feel like being sued over a free podcast that I'm doing for fun on Sunday nights. You know, I'll give a shout out to Linux containers people. It's a solid system to try out, get your toe wet with it. But if you've got a machine or even a virtual machine that you can install a copy of Ubuntu on, Ubuntu Server 1604 will come with it by default. The desktop version, I've not done a clean install and tried it yet. So if you get the desktop version, you can still use it. You may have to install it, but you know, it's a few commands away, and that is all very well documented on the all-powerful and ever-knowing internet. So that wraps up my little demo of LXD, and it's definitely a topic to in technology to keep your eye on over the coming months and years. So. All right.
All right.
Survived the demo.
So now that was wonderful. I'm looking forward to some more of that. I guess after we finish this, I'm going to try to do with my desktop we want to. Right. And the last thing on my list is a sound off. I guess the sound off is something new because we've never done it intentionally. But I got a sound off topic. Everybody wants to be a hacker. I'm so tired because somebody found something on Google that may have been a little so-called hacking tool, and they think that they are hackers. They think because they did a sandbox demo of something, and I don't know, but I'm sounding off to all you imitation people. I know from personal experience and from watching people from my caliber of learning. I'm part of the National Technological Honor Society, and I kind of aced my course all the way down to the people that failed, and still trying and probably gonna fail again. You people that get a little something and think you got everything don't know nothing. As smart as I am, my knowledge in IT right now is trivial in comparison to Jeremy, who has, 20 plus years in it. And that's very important. When I meet other IT professionals that know what they know, I'm sitting there like, I can't wait till I get there. We went to the coding clubs a couple of times, and I said it last episode. It's a 10-year-old boy that can run rings around me in JavaScript. I don't know nothing about Java. IT is so vast. And also something Jeremy stressed earlier about pirating. People that get these little hacking programs, whether it's old school Backblaze, a new school Kali, or whatever, and you run it and do something, you can get in trouble for that. You can get
Time out a minute. I've caught you twice now saying Backblaze. The predecessor to Kali was Backtrack, not Backblaze. Backblaze is a internet-based cloud backup service.
Oh, you right. We was covering that with Crash Plan. So
okay, sorry, that was my BS filter kicking in again.
No, that was your BS. that was on point. We don't want to get no misinformation out, but they get those programs. What's the term they use for those people?
Script kiddies.
Script kiddies, yeah. Script kiddies. Man, and I've ran across maybe about 3 or 4 of them in the last month. And when we say kiddies, we're not just talking about being noobs in terms of IT and they ran across the program. We also talking about they're only 20 and 21 years old. And I'll be like, you ain't even been living long enough to, be in the IT like that. You barely out of high school.
Yeah.
But it's some smart kids now. Don't get me wrong, but the ones I'm talking about is not. They are potatoes.
Yeah.
So to all the wannabe hackers, it is a organization for ethical hacking, and those people really know IT. They know about IP addresses. They know about filters, different types of penetration testing, brute force attack, DDoS, and all types of stuff. Encryption, decryption, hashing, algorithms. They know about all the intricate parts of what it takes to do something like that. Not because you found a program that has a pre-script for some trivial stuff. Right. So that's my sound off on the wannabe imitation so-called hackers that's going to end up in somebody's cell with a monkey named Bubba.
Yeah, I often give a disclaimer when I'm teaching. When I have to talk about security stuff, I make it very clear to people that, if you use the information that I present to you for nefarious purposes, that's on you and not on me. And it just means that you must like some pretty silver bracelets and red and blue flashing lights coming outside your place and taking you away. My advice, Frank Zappa in the 70s had a song called Don't Eat the Yellow Snow. Well, my advice is it can be sort of a take off of that. Don't bend over to pick up the soap. It's very interesting that people think that they can just grab this software. A lot of it is available for free, and then they think, oh well, I'm going to be cute and I can go into Starbucks or X, Y, or Z place with free Wi-Fi, and it's got to be a bunch of potatoes running the place, and they're not tracking anything. So I'll just go in there and I'll start running my tools just because I want to learn more, and it's free Wi-Fi, so people can't expect too much. But no, you can get hauled away for doing stuff like that. You know, it's not a game. If you want to learn security, take a class, set up a home lab, do something that will allow you to learn the material and test out this software without doing it in a way that is going to come off like you're attacking somebody else. You know, this isn't China. You know, you're not going to get a good job with the government necessarily just because you can run some pre-built program out there. You know, the people that work for the NSA and the FBI and whatnot, you know, they have some pretty mad skills when it comes to this stuff, and you know, they're pretty cutting edge with it, but their knowledge goes much further than you know, picking up some free program off the internet and just hitting a couple buttons and running it. You have to know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, what you're looking at, what you're using it for, and what your intended outcome is. And if you don't go into it with that mindset, you know, you're asking for problems. You know, I acknowledge everybody's got to start learning somewhere, but do it in a controlled environment. Either take a class, set up a home lab, or, you know, work with friends to set up a home lab, where you guys can set up a few machines and test out this software. And then if you have to blow it all away at the end of the night and reformat everything, so be it. And, you know, if you're going to do stuff with security, start learning Linux, because that's where a lot of the tools are. So you know, let that sink in for a few moments. And
Can't get none from Microsoft.
There are security tools. There are security tools on Windows, but if you can afford those, then you're probably already working in security. Let's just leave it at that.
Alrighty there.
So, any other closing thoughts?
No, just want to do, you know, sound off on the wannabe hackers. Oh man, that felt good. You topped it off pretty nice. Once again, shout out to all those wonderful mothers that's handling their biz out there. We really want to take our hats off to you and happy Mother's Day. With that, you got anything else to add, Jeremy?
No, I'm good for this week.
Okay, my name Daryl Alexander. Shout out to Mac Ritter. He with us. He commented on some stuff. And the resident guru Jeremy Light with the beautiful demonstration. The 3 IT guys. Have a good night.
See you next week.